So like he
what
had
flavor pudding?
Okay, there was vanilla, chocolate, and butterscotch. Okay. There was garlic. There was garlic in the vanilla. You know, like cayenne pepper in the chocolate, and you know, something nasty in the butterscotch. And so each kid, it was so funny, but he had that earpiece on, you know, and he was like talking, like in front of, it was a good thing it was kids, because there was an adult, they'd know to go, what'd you say? What'd you, like, he had no idea that, you know, you have that in your ear to be on the down low. And anyway, watching these kids, one after another go, he goes, what do you think of my pudding? You know, and they go, that's really good. It was hilarious. It was, but Mr. T, you know, and he was super nice and did got every kid in the school, you know, like in front of the auditorium and said, you know, don't do all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, the one Mexican kid is trying like the chocolate with the cayenne pepper, like, oh, just like Abuelita made.
Yeah. And then it becomes a thing. It's mole, and then you know.
Right.
That's how mole was invented.
So Mr. T's your neighbor.
I see Mr. T all the time.
Oh,
Yeah, he comes to the donut shop and he'll take pictures with anybody. You know, he's very nice like that.
I like when they're nice.
Yeah.
So you were the host of the TV Guide channel.
No, I called myself the arm. So I wasn't on camera. I would hold the arm and do the interviews. You know how they do.
I got it. Yeah.
Once in a while I was on the camera, but rarely. But I did everybody from. I've interviewed Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Paul McCartney, you know, famous people.
Famous, charming, handsome people.
Yeah, right.
And one of the funnier story was the Olsen twins. I don't know if you remember when the Olsen twins were turning 18.
Oh, no, I remember.
Everybody was going fucking wild.
Yes.
Everybody from Howard Stern, like, oh my God, as soon as they're 18, we can fuck them, and they're rich.
It's like Memoirs of a Geisha. People are privately bidding on who gets the twins.
Yeah.
And then when they turned 18, nobody gave a shit.
So they turned 18, and they had this movie out. It was called New York Minute.
Yep.
And I said, I'm gonna fucking get my name in the paper and, you know, on TV. So after how it works is you see a screening, then you do a thing called a junket.
Right.
And that's where they have all the actors on a hotel floor and they get 5 minutes. Every outlet gets 5 minutes with the stars, and then you do the red carpet. So I was doing all of those. So the movie was lame, but I said, you know what, I'm just going to say it.
An Olsen Twins movie? Don't say it.
So
I like the one where they play the saxophone and fake Bill Clinton's in it.
I must have missed that one.
I was a child, though.
They had a series of
movies
they did when they were kids, you know.
And I was a kid.
So the big thing was, so for this movie, they come out because everybody wanted to ask them about, oh, you're turning 18, what is this going to do? So the PR people come out and they round up all this, the press, and say, okay, here's the rules. You can't ask them about who they're dating and about turning 18. It's like everybody was just like throwing their books up, like, yeah, screw the fuck this, what are we going to ask them now? Yeah. So I just went in and I said, I know what I said, hey, there was a lot of cute guys in this movie. Did you guys get to pick them? And they just lit up. They went, oh my God, that was the best part of the movie. We got to pick our co-stars. We got to make out with the guys that we thought were cute. And they ended up hiring, the star of the movie is a guy named Jared Padalecki.
Yeah, he's hot.
He's hot. So anyway, so after all this, they called me up to the studio and they said, oh, do you have a quote, you know? I was like, oh God, what am I going to say? Yeah, so I just alliterated and I just said, fun family fair or something with the Olsen twins. And for like 2 months, I was in the newspaper.
Well,
they had my name and on the TV.
Nice.
So.
Wonderful. And
so that was the closest I kind of got to being like kind of something.
Well, and he has his own fan base too. Like,
oh, you're something to me too.
And of course that's before Mary Kate killed Heath Ledger, but we won't go there. Anyway.
What?
Wow, you're just like rolling that in there.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Is that a real thing, Mark?
Well, he was found in her hotel room, but. Anyway, we'll.
How did I not know that?
Because you know everybody.
Mark, was it really Mary Kate or was it Ashley?
I got a really funny story. Wait, I got a really funny story.
You always thought that if you fuck one of the Olsen twins, you just end up in jail.
Every twin I know switches sides with their friend.
No, okay,
so go ahead. I know you want to say something.
So the Olsen twins are actually not identical twins. They're fraternal twins.
Really?
Right. They really are. They're not identical twins. So when the makeup artist for TV Guide worked on their TV show, and he told me something that I'll never forget, and I laugh every time I hear it. He said, Mary Kate is the pretty twin, and Ashley knows it.
Okay, so like I've been friends
with a lot of twins.
That's
what it
a
should have
little
said under that
different. That's
movie.
fucked
Yeah,
up.
that's what it should have said under that movie instead of Hilarious Family Fun. Mary
Right.
Kate, Sabrina Twain, and
And
Ashley
Ashley knows
knows
it.
it.
I'm trying to remember because I'm not joking. I watched the movies. One of them always went like I'm the cute one, and one of them always was like I'm the tomboy one. It was always like Posh Spice and Sporty Spice.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
they've known that their whole lives.
I guess.
Yeah,
so.
I guess they had. That's
Now we
pretty
know
funny,
for sure they did.
So, but it's funny because as I said, I drift in and out of your life every few years.
Uh-huh.
And I know I ran into you guys in Vegas. Now, since I've been back in LA, you were doing. Not only are you guys doing your own thing with Moms of Comedy, and we'll get to how that got together. I mean, we're running out of time, but we will. It goes by so
We
fast.
started late.
No, we started late. No, I know we still got some time, but you're doing all these the coolest, hippest, youngest shows. You're on the roast battle. You're doing like
Set list.
set list.
Yeah.
You're doing all these things.
I did set list here, actually,
Yeah.
in the
At
back
the
room.
Nerdist,
the
yeah.
main event.
Yes,
The
the
Nerdist,
Nerdist.
yeah.
So how did this happen? How did you get into this whole
funny.
like I know she's funny, but how did you get in with the alternative crowd or the nerdy comedy
Well,
crowd?
Actually, how it happened is my old boyfriend Sean is cousins with Troy Conrad.
Right.
So when-
Sean McCarthy.
Yeah, so when Troy Conrad came to town from Arizona, because they were from Arizona, we hung around with them a lot. And then Troy started this thing, he was like Jesus. He would do stand-up as Jesus. And he got into this alternative scene, and then he started with Paul Provenza Set List. And when he came back, I hooked up with him and asked him if I could, do it. And that's kind of,
Yeah,
I
and
just
then
asked.
she got me in, and I did the show at where was it? Speakeasy.
Rafa.
Rafa
The
Speakeasy.
best.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's in Silver Lake, it's a
Gotta have a
speakeasy.
password to get in. I love that
we love
shit.
those kind
Yeah.
of things.
And when you go
And
down
the
the doors,
doors-
you can smoke weed at the bar and drink.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the
it's
door's
really
like an
fun.
accordion, like an iron gate
Well,
kind of thing. It's very
I'm sure they
cool.
don't want to publicly know that you can smoke weed in the speakeasy.
It's a private club. You
Oh,
can't
okay.
get in without a password.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
So
legal.
good luck.
And that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I find most places where you can do those sort of things, they usually are able to do them for a reason.
yeah. They're
But when you talk about alternative, when I first started, I could not break into that fucking alternative crowd, which was Vance
Right.
Sanders and all those people at Pedersen's, was Jack
Andy Kindler.
Zach
yeah.
Galifianakis, Maria Bamford,
Right, right.
the Chelsea Handler.
Right.
I remember one time I was performing there and it was my turn. And everybody just turned around and walked out. People would watch certain people, and
Oh,
then
they do
everybody
that.
just left. And Maria Bamford stayed, and she said, "You're really funny. Don't."
she's the
No,
most
Maria's
supportive
great.
Ignore all
person
the
They're
other
ever.
very funny. Like in general, I judge comics very
Yeah.
harshly.
Yeah, and she's
you're
like,
funny.
she
No,
goes,
she's cool. I remember
she
my
goes,
first show
"Fuck
in LA.
these people for leaving." She goes, "That's
Right.
just what they do."
Yeah, I did a show with her. She stood backstage the whole time and listened to everybody
Oh,
and
she's
like
the
cheered
coolest,
them
yeah.
on. She was like, it was for a benefit for a
Right,
women's
but
shelter,
in
yeah.
general, it's just nice. Okay, particularly with female comics,
Right.
it's really hard because automatically people just assume women aren't funny.
That's-
They're very funny.
That's why we work together, because we want to travel together, because it's so much better than traveling with a dude.
Oh, do tell.
Or by yourself,
Yeah.
I literally had a girl in my apartment last night talking about how she wants to record music, but every producer just wants to fuck her. Women have a different experience, and
Yeah, I don't
so
think I don't
Hashtag
think
me
it-
too.
Yeah, right. I don't think
no, it's like she doesn't do it, but that's the choice, right?
So and has that happened with you too?
Well, not on the road.
Like,
because
like you can get on my show.
My
or you
point
gotta-
is, women are hired. We have to
Yeah.
work twice as hard. That's what I'm
I
saying.
was let go.
and be twice as funny.
Yeah,
a
exactly.
club because the owner came on to me, and I was like, I acted like it was a joke, like he was drunk and it was a joke, and didn't really, and then he did something really ugly. One of the ugliest things I was brand new to stand up. I only been doing stand up almost it'll be 10 years in August.
Was this in Florida or?
In
yeah.
Florida,
Okay.
yeah. And he had like it. I mean, I'm like, he was married. I'm not
I hate
interested in that. And stop it. Just because you own a club, I'm not, sucking your dick in the bathroom. So
That's exactly it. They
right?
think they're important.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to.
On the other hand, I will. Just putting it out there.
But
Say the word.
I was on stage and it was a road show. It was my first show. I think it was maybe my 10th stand-up set in front
Right.
of an audience ever. And the whole time he was backstage going, "Get off the stage." The whole,
Well, that sucks.
and my whole thing, was, and everybody that was there, was just like, "Oh my God!" And I just never went back to his club again. And I know that's why he did it. Yet there was no other reason.
No, that's
Well-
exactly it.
And he
couldn't
gave me a
control
big
you.
build up. She's worked with Sean Connery. The intro was
Right.
so big, and it was a big banquet hall in Crystal Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that
So-
fancy?
I don't know.
Just a
Oh,
water.
it is not.
Florida.
I don't know.
No, it
I
is
don't
not.
know.
It is gator country and motorcycle. You know, I did a.
My first thought was, I can't imagine what's fancy in Florida.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are there